Welcome back to another episode of Evolutionary Theology. So, we were on chapter 10, and the kind of epilogue was kind of an appendix type introduction thing. But basically, let me start out with a quote by Ludwig Wittgenstein. What can be said at all can be said clearly, and whereof one cannot speak thereof, one must be silent. So, I feel like I have a grasp on the knowledge that I'm reading and portraying in the videos, so that's why I'm speaking on it. I don't speak on politics and things of that nature because I don't understand that stuff, but this speaks to me. I feel it. Consciousness is in the delight of mystery. So, yeah. So what we're looking for ultimately is a theory of consciousness, or a theory of everything that will kind of bring everything together. Evolution shaped our perceptions. It hides the truth from us. Basically, we perceive things as fitness icons, which basically lets us know how much an object in reality will benefit us towards our fitness of raising offspring or living to have raised offspring and keep going, just living. Like, the things that we perceive are, we interpret them so we can live. Like, we don't step out in front of a speeding Maserati, as he gives the example in the book, because we know that will hurt us. We don't do things that will hurt ourselves because we have this, not only built into our minds over the history of evolution, of biological organisms that have come into being and precursed us, and now we're here, and we've been here a while, not that long, but so consciousness is basically a kind of a trifecta of things. We've got the world, and we've got experiences of the world where we perceive it. We've got actions of the experiences where we decide what to do, and then we act on the world from our actions, and then the cycle starts over. We perceive again our experiences, we decide what to do, we act on the world. So basically, a theory of consciousness is going to have to include perceiving, deciding, and acting on individual conscious agents. And actually, it says this guy's theory is the theory of conscious realism, which means that all of reality consists of a network of conscious agents. So we, being conscious agents living in the interface, are producing a conscious reality that we're all experiencing. And he kind of goes on to say that he really doesn't know where a religious, scientific theology would go. But that's exactly where I'm going with this, which is evolutionary theology. And it's kind of what he wants. I did email the guy. I got a brief email back from him, just saying, glad you're liking it or whatever. But I would, his book leads right up to my theory, and that just kind of brings to mind an onslaught of ontologically relativistic um, inquisitions, if you know what I'm saying. But this was overall a good book. I definitely am glad to have this in my repertoire. Let's see if there's anything else I need to mention. Oh yes, consciousness can be can be quantified. If there's variables we can use, but whether we have these variables or not is as yet seen in the technology we have today. But it will be coming eventually. So he's got this a conscious agent C is a 7-tuple C equals XGWPDAT, where XG and W are measurable spaces. P is W by X to the X. D is X to the G by the G. X D X by G to the G, and A G by the W to W are Markovian kernels, and T is a totally ordered set. T is a totally ordered set, so that's the combination of everything in the equation. Is it impossible for a conscious agent to know themselves? Not completely, because we're not actually, see, when people say we're using our brains 10%, that's not exactly accurate. We're only 10% aware of what's going on in our brain. So yes, our brain is 100% being used. That's for sure, because if you don't use it, you lose it. You have to nurture your brain and learn and exercise your brain to keep your brain cells. Otherwise, the things that you don't, just, think about things you learn once and forget about, and then learn things twice and you forget about, learn things 3 times, and you kind of remember it, and then the things we see repetitively, we remember more. That's advantageous evolutionarily. So basically, we use 100% of our brain, but we're only 10% consciously aware of what goes on in our brain as far as the calculus equations and everything that are needed to function in everyday life. There's a lot going on in our brain that we're not aware of. So basically, part of the definition of being a conscious agent is to be unconscious of a good portion of yourself. So that's also taken into the equation. And I better wrap this up. I feel like everybody's getting bored. I don't know. But the next book coming up is, we're going to delve into the realm of schizophrenia, because I have a direct correlation with that. And I would like to see where this cross-cultural study leads us as far as cultural influences on psychosis and where that might leave me after the fact. So I'm kind of studying myself, but I'm going to bring everyone along with me. So I'll hope you will join me in my next expedition into our most troubling madness, schizophrenia. Have a great whatever.